So I want to talk a little bit about substrate. Substrate is obviously very important in a tank. Obviously, you can keep fish without it, but it needs very, very intensive care at that point. You need to hoover it or clean the bottom. It's not a very nice sight when you see fish poop everywhere. And this actually, if you want to have a natural looking aquarium, which I think is the most beautiful, then it is almost necessary to have substrate on the bottom. What I did is I actually boiled. I got just plain old dirt from the garden, boiled it in a large pot that I didn't need. The brown substrate filled the layer that you see right there at the bottom. Is actually earth from the garden. It's just dirt, which I've mixed with water and boiled it. That is to kill the algae, the bacteria, and that is just to actually get rid of most of the because even in ground soil you do tend to get cyanobacteria, stuff like that would if you put it just into the aquarium by itself and poured water on it, it would cause an algae bloom. So that is to disinfect and also to get rid of a few microorganisms that you don't need in a tank. After I've done that, you should plant. I actually did it the other way around. You should plant in a fairly thick layer of dirt. You should plant your aquarium plants. This is a process that you should do relatively quickly because without water, aquarium plants tend to just collapse on themselves because water pressure around them is the thing that keeps them standing up and looking so beautiful. So you should plant the plants at that point. You should acquire them a day before you start doing this. And then on top, you should put gravel, in my opinion, because it looks fairly natural. And also, bottom feeders such as the catfish, the algae eaters, they would enjoy scavenging from the bottom and eating. Obviously, gives much more surface area for example, for algae to grow. The catfish enjoy digging into the gravel, so that's one thing. Also, you don't need to clean it that often because fish poop would not accumulate on the top. It would sink in between the little pieces of gravel. It would also fertilize the soil and make the plants give some nutrition to the plants. And if you do these 3 steps, so get soil from the garden, doesn't matter from where, it should be obviously clean of, for example, if you use huge amounts of fertilizer, or if you pour toxic waste on the ground, obviously you shouldn't use that, but everything else is fair game. You boil that, put down a layer, plant your plants in it, then pour some gravel on top, which will hold down the plants, and at the end, decorate it with some good-looking stones. You should be fine in terms of substrate. You can also buy. Some people prefer this. That's just not my thing. But you can also buy colored gravel. So, for example, purple, black, white, whatever kind. Just like this natural look of this kind of gravel. Also, it's fairly cheap. So, thank you.